What's up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by the channel. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is season 12, episode 12. So, not much really happened on this episode, so I feel like I can get through it, and it's late at night. It's almost 10 o'clock where I'm at. So I'm gonna try my best to get through this because your girl is tired. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, so the episode opens up where we left off, where we're still at Diana's Christmas party. Everyone's having a good time, but we're opening up to this awkward moment where Erika is telling Crystal she can't have one of the hors d'oeuvres because it's chicken fingers. And if you didn't see last episode, Crystal let us know that she does have an eating disorder where she is possibly anorexic. She denies herself food. And she might be bulimic because I remember her saying like she wanted to get rid of it, and that normally switches in my brain like, oh, you're throwing up. But Erika also exposed herself as possibly having an eating disorder as well, because she talks about taking laxatives and like pushing it out. But it was awkward, and you could tell that Crystal was kind of like taken aback about her saying like, girl, you can't have that, it's chicken fingers. And it was rude. It was rude, and it was mad disrespectful. So far with Erika being on this whole like I'm drunk situation, I low-key have been feeling like it's been a farce. Like it's been fake. Like in Mexico, it felt real because I was like, okay, it's Mexico. We're having a good time. At Garcelle's party, it felt like she was putting 20 on 10. But in this moment, I could tell that like, yo, sis, she might somewhat have a problem. I still think to a certain degree she's doing too much just to keep people from talking about like the lawsuits and the suing and all of that stuff. But in this moment, it felt real. And it was mainly because of the sit down that she had with Diana, Kathy, and Lisa Rinna. But before we get into that, we have this like weird scene where Kathy is acting like she knows Cherie. And I'm just like, I'm over Kathy's whole farce of being like this like kooky rich lady. Because if you watch Paris Hilton's documentary, there was a, what's the word? The Kathy we're seeing now is not the Kathy that was portrayed in that documentary, or who Paris Hilton spoke about how her mom was very like stoic and dismissive. And I believe that. I believe there's been certain times where it has come out of Kathy where she's been very like, we're not dealing with that. I'm not talking with that. We're moving on. And I think we're definitely going to see it when it comes time to when Lisa Rinna gets in the mix between Kathy and Kyle. But like, I don't buy this kooky thing. And my thing is like, she might know Cherie because of Will Smith, because Will Smith has similar like their bank accounts are probably the same. But I'm just like, girl, you don't know this lady. We know you don't roll in the room of black people unless they're affluent, and I mean like affluent black people. So this thing of like, oh, I know Cherie, girl, shut up. So we go inside of the house, and Asher is going to sing. There's like a pianist there, and he's singing. And I can't lie, his voice didn't sound bad. Like, I think they said Asher does like Broadway or theater, and his voice is very much that. Like, he can belt out a tune. And you know, if you're singing in an auditorium, you need to be able to sing very loudly, and it needs to be like crisp. And he did a really good job. So I can't even like fault him for that. He did like a really great job. So, as he's singing, Erika decides she want to be a drunk whore and sing with him. And he's singing the first Noel. And he sounds, like I said, he sounds pretty good. And she's like, the first Noel. And then he's about to hit the high note. And she's like, sing it, belt it out. And I'm looking at Diana like, get her. Your man is up there singing. Check this broad. Tell her to shut up, Diana. Tell her to be quiet, Diana. And Diana doesn't do any of that. And I'm looking at Diana like, bro. Why not? Why aren't you telling her to shut up? Like, y'all all think it's cute, and it's not cute. And Crystal and Garcelle's face the whole time was my face. Because I'm like, girl, shut up. So then after he's done singing, because I'm not going to lie, it was funny. Like, in the context of like this man is singing, it's cringy, it's awkward, it's funny. But then I'm just like, Diana, this is not funny for you because your man is the one singing. Tell this girl to shut up and let that boy have his moment. Okay, let your assistant have his moment. So we then have this scene where we see Kathy, Diana, Lisa, and Erika sitting outside because after Asher sung, everyone went outside to like drink and have a good time and continue to party. And Erika then has this like drunken sad girl moment where she's like, Kathy, I could go. I could go. Ooh, my bad, y'all. She was like, I could go. Like, I didn't want that scarlet letter on her, man. And basically what she's talking about is Paris Hilton's wedding. And if you want to see her wedding, I think it was like on Hulu or Peacock where they showcase Paris getting married. And she was invited, but she didn't go. Like, Erika basically said she didn't feel comfortable going, especially because I think Paris got married during all the time that Erika was dealing with what she was dealing with Tom, especially at the height of it. And she's like hella drunk. And I think this is when I realized, like, oh, this might not really be like, it might be a farce, but in this moment, it's not, because Erika was like slurring her words. She fell down. And I think the only reason why I thought it was real is because of Lisa Rinna. Like, Lisa Rinna looked visibly uncomfortable, and so did Diana. And I was like, oh, so like she really is drunk. She really is drunk. So she was telling them how like the only reason she decided to go get help was because of Lisa Rinna and Amelia and her daughters encouraging her to do it. So as this conversation is going, we then see Kyle, Crystal, Garcelle, and Cherie talking. They bring up Sutton. Sutton was really excited to come to Diana's party, but unfortunately she caught the virus. They were talking about like cutting Erika some slack because Kathy comes and sits down and she's like, Erika's out of control. And I'm like, maybe in Kathy's eyes, it's out of control because of what Kim, like how bad Kim was. But then you have Kyle being like, I just want to cut her some slack. Like, she's never been this way. And like, we could just cut her some slack. And Garcelle's like, you can cut her some slack. I don't got to cut her nothing because she told my child to like, what are you talking about? And I'm still annoyed that Kyle thinks it's like, okay, cut her some slack. Why? Like, I'll say this again. I do think Kyle, Dorit, and Lisa Rinna, well, minus Lisa Rinna, but Kyle and Dorit are trash friends to Erika, because I would never allow my friend to be as sloppy drunk, because at the end of the day, like, our friendship is a representation of me. So if I associate myself with you and you out here being a sloppy drunk, you're embarrassing me. As well as, why are you mixing pills and drugs? Like, that could have a severe negative reaction. Like, Erika could like damage a vital organ, or worse, not wake up from a drunk bender. So I'm like, y'all should be telling her to like chill out. Like, someone should vocalize like chilling out. So then Kyle talks about how Garcelle is trying to bait her into calling Erika an alcoholic. And she's like, I'm sensitive about labels because of Kim. And my thing is like, she clocked Garcelle with the whole label thing. She did. But to say that you're like sensitive about labels when one of the most iconic scenes in Housewives history is you outing your sister for being an alcoholic on season 1, and that limo when Adrienne Maloof was like between you and Kim trying to like stop y'all from fighting, you don't really care about labels because you didn't protect your sister by yelling and telling the world that she's an alcoholic. So how are you like sensitive about labels when you told that lady she was an alcoholic? Like, Kyle, shut up. And one thing, I'll say this, I don't think Kyle's getting a bad edit, because a lot of people are like, ooh, Kyle must have pissed somebody off. They're giving her a bad edit. No, I just think that this is how Kyle has always been, but they've always shied away from it because they liked her so much. But if you don't know, Mauricio and the oldest daughters in their family are about to film a real estate show on Netflix, and I think that has pissed the network off, because it's kind of like, how dare you go to Netflix when Bravo is how you got your start? Why not have a show on Bravo? But Netflix might be paying them more. I think that's what it is, really. We then see Garcelle and Diana sit down. Diana blames everything on Sutton, saying how mean she was to Garcelle at her birthday party, saying that Sutton touched every button and she lashed out. And then Diana said this weird line saying, she was like, I can see in Garcelle's eyes, she wants to like me, and I don't know if it's because Sutton isn't here. And I'm like, you really think highly of yourself, Diana, when a lot of us don't think highly of you. That's interesting. That is interesting because when she said it, she said, "I see in your eyes that you want to like me, Garcelle." And I said, and Garcelle's response to that was like, "Thank you for inviting me." She didn't even respond or like acknowledge what Diana says because I think it was just like, "Girl, you think too much of yourself," and she really does, in my opinion. Because who is Diana? Who are you, you stank lip lady? Who really are you? So I was like, all right. And then the scene or that whole thing at Diana's party ends with Kathy hiding Kyle's purse. And then we move on to the next scene. So the next scene we see is of Dorit. And it's been, I think, a while ago because Dorit did get infected with the virus as well. And PK walks into their bedroom and he says like, "Oh, I'm feeling jaded," which has different context in the UK versus America. And I always think that's interesting that people have different contexts. Like words mean different things in different regions and in different areas. I just always have found that cool. But we find out that 3 weeks ago, PK had a DUI. He got pulled over, I guess, from having drinks out with the boys or whatever. And the first time the cops pulled him over, he blew a 0.081. And to be legally drunk is a 0.08. And basically they handcuffed him. The police had handcuffed him, like made him wait in the car for like an hour or so. And then they dropped him off at the house because when they blew him again, he blew a 0.07. So he wasn't legally drunk, but he still was too drunk to be driving. And so they gave him a ticket. And I said, how wonderful is it to have white privilege? Because you can't tell me no one that is like, even if they're white, I will say rich white privilege, because you can't tell me anyone that was like white or low income, the police would ever handcuff them and wait an hour until you like your body is still like flushing and siphoning the liquor in your body to wait with you in the car and then drop you off at your house after giving you a ticket. Anybody else would have got arrested and your family would have been picking you up at the station. So I was like, okay. So what I thought was interesting is that PK basically was like he was never going to tell Dorit. And the only reason Dorit found out about it is because she had to go pick up his car. And I just was like, that's interesting that he was like, he even admitted that he was never going to tell her. So it leads me to believe, because I saw something online that allegedly the people are saying that PK got some like extra family in the UK that he goes and visits when he goes on trips. Allegedly, I don't know. I don't believe it. And the only reason why I don't believe it is I would feel like it would have been exposed by now, because Dorit and PK have been on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for almost, I want to say 4 or 5 years. And I'm like, somebody would have like exposed that, just how they exposed how Dorit was having issues with the one of her designers of Beverly Beach. Like how, and someone had video of like someone following them when they were on vacation to serve her. So I'm just like, if PK did have a secret family over in London, I feel like we would all know. I just feel like we would all know. That's just my thing. I just feel like everybody would know. But I do think it's kind of messed up that he was like, he wasn't going to tell her. He was just going to pick a time where like he felt like everything was going to be okay and then tell her. I was like, that was shady. And I'm glad Dorit said something. But if I was Dorit, I would be looking at PK sideways. I would be forever looking at him sideways. Because what you mean you wasn't going to tell me? So then we're at Erika's house. She's getting ready for like her extensions that she's selling. They look cheap. I'm not even gonna lie. As someone who wears like wigs, like synthetic human, and who've had clip-ins, like depending on the price that Erika is charging for them clip-ins, you'd be better going to Sally's, especially for my white women. If anybody that is of, this color, go to Sally's. Sally's has clip-ins of any color, like platinum blonde all the way to like jet black, and every variation in between, that are probably way cheaper than Erika's clip-ins and of quality, because it doesn't seem like Erika wears her own clip-ins, and it's just I don't know. And then for Erika to be like she knows the type of, and you know what, shut up. I'm gonna shut up, because I was about to say, for her to say the hair that she knows all about hair, but I'm a black woman, and like what we put in our hair is totally different than what white women put in their hair, so I can't really like I can't say too much. Yeah, the only thing is, to me, I don't think Erika really wears the clip-ins that she's selling. That's just my thing. Them clip-ins look cheap and they don't look of quality, and that's why I feel like if you gonna spend money on Erika's, like, spend money on clip-ins, and you don't want to spend a hefty penny, because I know Erika's probably taxing on them clip-ins, I would truly and definitely go and get clip-ins from Sally's, because I've seen so many girls, especially like on YouTube, if I get bored, I'll go down a rabbit hole of like watching hair videos, and it doesn't just have to be black women, it could be anybody, especially if I think the videos of quality. And I've seen white women go to Sally's, get clip-ins, and it looks like they got their hair done like at a salon. So I'm just like, I don't know. But we see what's her name, Lisa Rinna, go over there, and they basically have an intervention. We see the white guy Michael, who is like her assistant that she's known for like 12 or 13 years, who was also like her like her creative designer for her like persona, Erika Jane. And Erika basically says that like after the party or the night before, she like hit her head and she threw up vomiting, and she was just saying that the holidays have been really tough for her. And I'm like, why are the holidays tough? Because you still have a son that's like in his 30s that I think they said was married. I mean, for all we know, Erika could be a grandmother. She don't really talk about her son, which is understandable. But I'm just kind of like, did you spend Christmas with your son, or are y'all like in an estranged relationship? Like, what is it? Because for her to be so like downtrodden, and it could be like, you know, because they had all that money, they probably did the holidays like extremely big when she was with Tom. But I'm like, you still have a son out there that you could have like a just as an amazing Christmas experience with, because that's still your family. Or you could have went down to Georgia and spent time with your mother, because I think her mom is still with us. But they basically tell Erika like she needs to slow down. We also got information about Lisa Rinna, that unfortunately that her older sister OD'd when she was like 6 years old. And she was just like, nobody really considered her an addict, but like she was self-medicating, and she could see Erika is self-medicating, and Erika basically takes it in and realized that like she needs to slow down. So I was like, okay, we're probably getting rid of this whole I'm drunk, I'm a lush kind of storyline. Now what's gonna be, is it gonna be we're attacking Kathy? Is that where we're getting in this transition? You know what I mean? So we then see Garcelle and Sutton link up. Sutton was upset. She ended up spending Christmas alone. We find out that her husband went to Italy and didn't tell her that his girlfriend was going with them, and her kids went to Italy with the dad. So Sutton was basically home alone by herself. She got wasted. Not wasted, but I guess she said the COVID made her crazy. And she like called all her ex-boyfriends because she was like, nobody really like checked on her. And I was like, Sutton, that says a lot. Like, y'all know I love me some Sutton. I really do. But no one really checked on you other than like Garcelle and a few people. Like, I'm just kind of like, Sutton, you got to change that. Like, you don't want to be alone. Like, you got to change that. So, and everybody was upset about Sutton saying that. Like, you can say Christmas, like Merry Christmas, until June 6th. And we all know how we feel about June 6th. Y'all out there raiding the Capitals with your psychotic selves. But they talk about Diana's party. Sutton was like, girl, what the house look like? What did the house look like? It was cute. It was like, I like Garcelle and Sutton's relationship because it seems genuine. Even when she was having a conversation with, I think that was with Jade. Is that his name? Jackson Jade? I think that's the son's name. The one that Erika cussed out. She was having a conversation with him, and it seemed like they had a rapport. Like, it didn't seem like he was like uncomfortable. He was laughing with them. And you can tell they're not like auntie Sutton level, but they still know who Sutton is, because he was laughing when Sutton was like, no, you can still say Merry Christmas till June the 6th. And he said, And then they were like, oh, what about Happy New Year's? And he was like, after the New Year's Day, like, let it go. And she was like, no, like, you got to give us more time. And he laughed. So it wasn't like an awkward situation. So you can tell that they're real friends. So I do like their relationship, because it does seem like they really do care about each other. Garcelle brings up about while Erika's drinking, and I was with Sutton. I'm not touching that. If Erika want to be a drunk, let her be a drunk. And I'm like, yeah, Garcelle, let her be a drunk. Let her be a lush and let her be a drunk. We then see Sutton go out on a date. She's with the Indian guy that they were like FaceTiming. First of all, sir, you seem like a very sweet man. So if you ever see this, I don't want you to take this in a negative way, but shave your head. Shave your hair, because like that balding in your crown, sir, just to keep all of this. Yeah, unless you getting like hair implants, shave your hair, bro. You probably would look really handsome with a shaved head. But then again, I don't know if I've ever met a bald-headed Indian. I really don't think I've ever met a bald-headed Indian. Maybe that's why it's keeping. Maybe there's like a cultural thing, because I know I'll say in my like family, like my grandmother hates when we cut our hair. My mom's mom, she hates when we cut our hair, because she was like, your hair is your crown. That's like, Jesus gave you that. You don't cut your crown. That's how my grandma is. So maybe that's how they are in Indian culture. Maybe it's like a signifying or something. I have seen Indian people like shave their heads for like religious holidays and stuff, but like it was mostly, when I saw the documentary on it, it was like women. I saw men, but not a lot of men. But like in real life, I don't think I've ever seen an Indian man with a shaved head. But they seem to have like a really cute banter. They like college sports. It was a cute date. It was a cute date. So then we have this scene where Dorit goes to Kyle's house and they're talking about the tabloids. So like I said, PK getting drunk, but he got drunk 3 weeks ago. So the tabloid that came out was basically, it was by the Daily Mail. It said exclusive. PK Kimsley was arrested on suspicion of DUI in California a month after after his white Dorit was robbed at gunpoint in their LA home. So Dorit is kind of like upset and annoyed and like low-key livid, because she was like, this happened 3 weeks ago and now it's being like outed by the not the police, but by the tabloids. And she was like, it's just uncomfortable and she hates it. Like she was like, I hate it. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. Ugh, gross. Ew. And we find out that I think PK told Mauricio, but Mauricio didn't tell Kyle. And I hate that they call that man Mo, because I've been watching Beverly Hills since season 1. Like it was off and on in the middle, like during like season 4 and 5 and 6. But like I have never remembered her calling Mauricio Mo. And I don't like it. It don't sound right. But he told Mauricio, but Mauricio didn't tell Kyle. And if you don't know, if you go on Reddit, y'all, when I tell you the people swear on their lives that Mauricio out here got another lady friend or another family. And I was like, I never really believed it like that. But for Kyle to be like, Mauricio never told me, I was like, why? Like, because I think maybe I just have a different understanding, because my dad tells my mom like pretty much everything, and vice versa. Like even if they're talking with their friends about stuff, they share information with each other. Like, so it's weird to me that like both of these ladies are like, well, Kyle's like, Mo didn't tell me. And I'm like, why didn't he tell you? Which makes me feel like, was they out together and got caught up? It sounds like they were out together and somebody got caught up, and this is what we getting right here. Somebody got caught up and like y'all was upset, or they didn't feel the need to tell you. Because had PK not got caught up with the whole suspicion of DUI, y'all probably would have never known what they did that night. And you probably will never know what they did that night. But we then find out that Kyle has all her kids on an app, and before she goes to bed, she checks their locations. And it was cute, and the kids check her location. Family bonding, woohoo. So the last scene of the episode is with Erika and Garcelle. It was a decent scene. Garcelle orders I think cognac or something like that. I don't know. Either way, Garcelle orders a alcoholic beverage. Erika gonna be like, can I get chamomile tea? Whatever. They don't serve chamomile tea up on the deck where they were at, or the balcony. So she ended up giving another alcoholic beverage. They start talking. They were asking about their dating life. Erika said she's having a great sex life. And then what's her name? Garcelle brings up the drinking again. And I think Garcelle wanted to have the moment that Lisa Rinna had with Erika, but Erika beat her to, like, Lisa Rinna beat her to it, and Erika was way more receptive from Lisa Rinna. And Erika was like, Lisa called me to the carpet, like, about my drinking. And she was like, I'm really, like, going to try my best to, like, fall back. And Garcelle's like, oh, okay. Like, it took the win out her sails. Like, I think Garcelle wanted to be the one to do that. And so then she talks about, like, the pressure, like, Erika's like, the pressure of, like, trying to get through all of this, and every day there's a new story about me, and just it was weighing on her, so drinking kind of helped. But she said, like, since everything happened, she kind of has a new eyes when it comes to everything. And Garcelle was like, okay, what are your new eyes to the friendship? And Erika's like, I'm glad that you have Cherie, but Sutton is a liability. And then Garcelle's like, why do y'all come down so hard on Sutton? And Garcelle's like, because when y'all was in Mexico, she didn't say this to her, but she was like, when y'all was in Mexico, y'all was cool. Now she's a liability. And Erika's like, you cover for her a whole lot. Like, it seems like you have a responsibility to protect her. And this is kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. It's funny. Funny coming from Erika to call somebody else a liability when I don't have the video, and I thought I took a screen recording of it. So if I find it, I might feed it in. But if I don't, check out Bravo Snark side. I'll put it down below. But Erika just got served papers about 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Got served. She was out with Diana and Lisa Rinna outside of the country, and she got served. So if you don't know, Erika was supposed to give back these diamond earrings. The courts was like, yeah, give those earrings back. And I guess they were gonna auction them off, and then whatever money they got from it was gonna give to the victims. It was supposed to be payments for the victims, allegedly. Because I'm saying allegedly, even though I know, I read the article, I'm just not sure if I'm reiterating the story correctly, but we're just going to say it like that. And now Erika is, petitioning to, not have to give those people back those earrings. And it's like, let the earrings go, girl. You said in this episode, you were going to make your own money and be back to where you were supposed to be. Then them earrings don't matter. Let them go so they, you can start paying off this debt. Because even though you didn't steal the money, they gonna take it from somewhere. So I'm just like, how is Sutton a liability? And the only reason why the ladies think Sutton is a liability is because Sutton speaks her mind. And Sutton isn't afraid to be like, oh, I talked to my attorney. They that's the bad thing about Beverly Hills Housewives. They like to play reality TV. They don't like to bring the real reality TV, about Lisa Rinna's issue with Harry Hamlin, supposedly being out here in the streets. Same with Mauricio. Then the whole financial situation that was happening with Dorit, and then with Teddy with the whole alleged cult. It's so much things going on with these housewives that they have this pack, they don't bring it on the show. They make up other stuff to argue with. And I think the problem is that Sutton doesn't play that game, so they see her as a liability. Because there's no other reason to call Sutton a liability when it's girl, every day it's another thing with you of someone suing you and trying to take your money. So liability pretty much is you. And if you don't know, there's this new article, I think it's on lawyer.com, about Erika. And girl, it's a mess. It's a mess. In the article, it names Kyle and I think Dorit's husband allegedly about being wrapped up in some scheme where the bank was in on helping Tom and them take money allegedly. So I'm just are you on is Kyle sucking up to Erika because she's afraid of stuff getting out to people? But either way, I just think it's funny that Sutton is a liability, but you don't see yourself as a liability. When we saw you in the beginning of the episode talking about you didn't want that scarlet letter at somebody's wedding, or that shame. So clearly you got your stuff with you. But yeah, y'all, that's it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and drop down in the comments below. Bye.